Hello and welcome to Persuasion and Presence for Program and Project Managers. We're in Module 2, where we talk about logic and how we use logic to help us create more persuasive messages.
Logic is one of the three components of the Aristotle rhetorical triad, and it's very important to have. We need logical arguments to help persuade our audience, and we're using facts constructed in such a way to help people see what we want them to do and why we want them to do it. The ancient Greeks invented the idea of the syllogism, which is the foundation of reasoning. You all remember that famous syllogism, all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. That's how we essentially construct the arguments and make those logical arguments to back up our persuasive messages. Logic is at the heart of our understanding triad. If you remember from our first course, we talked about the emergent model of communication, the idea that we transmit information through our utterances to help create a shared meaning, an understanding. And how do we know that people understand is we use the understanding triad. Do they know what, do they know how, and do they know why? And in testing for that understanding, we look for people to repeat back to us what we said or communicated and to see if they understand the logical statements that we made and communicating to them. So that's why logic, along with emotion and ethics, is a major part of the understanding triad. So logic and logical statements help us be persuasive. And here's a great tool to help us create those logical statements, the idea of a gap analysis. And I'm going to use a personal example of a recent interview that I went to. And for this interview, I created a message map, which is another great tool. And the idea behind the message map, it's a one-page, I made a PowerPoint slide. It's a one-page PowerPoint slide. And right in the middle is my core statement. Why would I be a good person for this job? That was my message there. So I was looking at the organization's current state, and I could see that reflected in the job description. What were they trying to strive for? And that was their desired state. What were they wanting to do at the end? If they hired this person for this position and you were going to do certain things, what would the organization look like when that person is going into action and doing the stuff they're supposed to do and helping the organization succeed? So before, when I looked at this for the job interview, where was the organization right now, the current state? Where does it want to be? And then to put it simply, I'm going to be the action plan. That's the part of the gap analysis. In other words, how do I get from the current state to the desired state? You have an action plan. I'm the action plan, and I'm going to show you how I get you to that desired state. So that was what my message map was about. And I had to use logical statements to help me persuade my panel, and I had to go through 2 panels of interviewers to show them how I'm going to get that organization to the desired state. So this is how gap analysis can help us in communicating and being persuasive, and you can see how I would use logical arguments. So I have my core message, and essentially my core message is that I thrive in these kind of volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environments. And then I'm the person that my bosses send out to operationalize a mission or vision. In other words, you have a mission or vision, you send me in to go make it happen, to make it reality. So that was my core message. And then around that message map, I had 4 statements that I wanted to make that help support it. So my first statement was talking about my experience in project management and evaluation and design thinking, so I can bring and create innovative programs. My second statement was how I can bring together high-performing groups of people with diverse ideas and thoughts and create a psychologically safe environment for them to be innovative. I talked about my big network of academics and practitioners that I can bring in to help us with these problems. And then I talked about my success in building successful initiatives and programs. And around those 4 statements, I had evidence. I won an award for an innovative program. I have 2,000 contacts on LinkedIn. All these different pieces of evidence here. That was my action plan. And as you can tell here, I had a core message, logically stated, logical arguments, which I supported with other logical statements that drilled down to evidence. And that's the idea here with the gap analysis and the logos piece. So I want to be persuasive. I want this job. Here's why I'm the best person for this job. Here's why you should hire me. And I gave the interviewers a set of logical statements to help them move towards that action.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this free lesson from the University of Maryland's Project Management Center for Excellence. If you want to check out more lessons just like this one, click the link in the description below where you'll be able to go to our website on executive project management. There, you can find edX courses, professional short courses where you can learn from an instructor like me, as well as request custom team training for you and your organization. All right, let's get back to the lesson and I'll see you at the end.
So when you're giving a formal presentation or even an informal speech, there's going to be 5 components to it. There's going to be a title. There's going to be an introduction. There's going to be an opening. There's going to be a body, and there's going to be a conclusion. And you can map this out like you would with a map, a mind map or any kind of diagram. So, of course, we have our title. And then we have our introduction where we set the stage. And then we talk about why this subject, why me, the speaker, and why now. And as you can see here, we're starting to establish our ethos part, why the subject, why the speaker, and then the logical statements. Why this subject? Why now? So I'm giving some logical arguments for that. Then I jump into my opening, and I want to grab your attention. I may start with a story. I may start with a question. I may start with a startling fact. Something to get your attention here and open your mind up. And then I want to give you my first set of logical statements. Tell them, or tell you, the audience, what I'm going to tell you. Get you prepared. Get you ready. And then I'm going to launch into my speech, the body part, and I'll have evidence. I'll have my logical arguments and evidence with them. And a lot of times I like to couch my evidence and my logical statements in stories. They're still at the heart, logical statements, but there'll be evidence for you, but they'll also be in story form. And then I'll conclude, and I'll just tell you what I just told you. I'll sum it up, give you the logical arguments that I want you to take with you to help you make that decision, and hopefully give you a close that'll send you home on a high note or with a sense of urgency. And it's usually a fact, a statistic, or quote that somehow recaptures the beginning. This is what I teach in my communication courses and building a speech, and this is why it's so effective. There's a logical flow. There's what we call signposting. You know where you're going to go next. And as you can see here, at the heart of all these parts, all 5 parts, title, introduction, opening, body, and conclusion, there is logic interwoven through it. So in our next set of modules, we're going to talk about emotions and ethics.
Hey there, did you enjoy that lesson as much as I did? If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see another one, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Moreover, is there somebody in your life who really needs this lesson right now? If so, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson where you can learn even more from the University of Maryland Project Management Center for Excellence. Thanks so much.